BTS News Today. A moment that shook the hearts of millions of BTS fans around the world just happened. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, is known to be very secretive about his personal life and feelings, finally decided to open up about the condition of friends as well as colleagues Sugrupnya, Jimin. This very emotional and sincere confession instantly brought millions of ARMY to tears, not only because of such deep concern, but also because of the hidden reality of Jimin's struggle that has not been seen by the public eye. Ever since the BTS members were conscripted, the world felt a little quiet for ARMY. However, behind the silence, there are so many stories that have never been told before. Jungkook, who usually chooses silence and lets feelings flow in his songs, this time, he could no longer bear the emotional burden. In an unplanned broadcast, no promotion and no glamour background, he appeared on the screen with a face that looked tired, yet full of sincerity. The broadcast lasted about 30 minutes, but the impact seemed to break the wall of time. Jungkook begins with a hoarse voice describing sleepless nights, emergency, and the feeling of loss is so great. Not because of the physical distance that separated him from Jimin, but rather because of the feeling of helplessness when you see someone you love so much struggling in silence. Jimin Hyung. He's too good, Jungkook said, staring blankly at the camera. He always smiled, even when he was the sickest. He'll say, "I'm fine," even though I know he's not doing well. Those words instantly broke the hearts of fans who thought Jimin was serving his military service calmly and healthily. Apparently, far behind all the smiles and letters Jimin sent to the ARMY, there are inner wounds that never really heal. Jungkook did not mention Jimin's condition in detail, but from the vibration of his voice, her tears that fall uncontrollably, and the way he held the microphone as if it were the only hold of life. The world knows that this is not just a light matter. He told me about the days before Jimin's departure to the military camp. The night when they just sat quietly together in the rehearsal room. No music, no big chat. There was only silence, and tears were falling silently. Jungkook held Jimin's hand at that moment, feeling that this might be their last moment in a long time. He said, "If I'm too quiet there, please tell the ARMY that I still love them." And I don't know what to answer. Jungkook continued, "I can only hug him." The story had its live broadcast invaded by millions of comments, digital tears from fans around the world. Many admitted that they could not stop crying, and not a few who feel guilty for not realizing that behind the power of Jimin, there was a pain he was hiding. Jungkook then shows him a letter handwritten by Jimin before he left for the military. The letter has never been shared with the public, and according to Jungkook's confession, I read it again the morning before the show. His hand trembled as it showed the folds of the paper, and it took almost 5 minutes before he could read the contents of the letter. To Jungkook, "Thank you for being a little light in my life that sometimes feels too dark. If I don't have time to say it directly, know that you are one of the reasons I survived. If one day I'm too tired to smile, please give me your smile. That's enough to make me live again." Every word of the letter stuck deep into the heart of whoever heard it. Jungkook's voice broke, his tears couldn't be held back, and the spectators who watched were also swept away in a sea of deep sadness. This is not just a confession of a friend about his friend. This is the outpouring of the heart of a brother who is harboring tremendous pain for not being able to protect the person he loves the most. Jungkook continued his broadcast by telling how he tried to stay in touch with Jimin. They sent letters to each other even though they can't always reply on time. But one thing was always consistent. Every time Jimin sent a letter, he never told me about himself. He only asked about Jungkook, about the ARMY, about how everyone was doing. He always puts others first. And sometimes, it scares me. I am afraid he has forgotten that he also has the right to be loved and protected. Jungkook said as he wiped away the tears that kept flowing. The broadcast also brought up a short recording of their last video call. A video is not very clear due to the quality of the signal, but Jimin's laughter is heard very clearly. "Don't worry, Kookie. I can still dance in my head," he said with a laugh, although his eyes seemed to keep a deep jaded. The video marked the end of Jungkook's broadcast. He looked at the camera one last time and said, "Jimin Hyung, if you watch this one day, I want you to know, the world may lose its colors, but I will still see you as a rainbow. Go home safely. We're all waiting for you." After the broadcast, social media was flooded with reactions from fans. The hashtags #ProtectJimin and #WeLoveYouJimin are trending #1 in various countries, even beat the big news of the world. Fanbase from different parts of the world began to hold love projects, sending letters, making videos, and collect messages to convey to Jimin. More than just a viral furor, This moment became an important turning point for ARMY and BTS. This is a reminder that behind the glitter of the stage, idols are also people. They cry, feel alone, and sometimes struggle with invisible wounds. Jungkook, with his courage, has opened up a dialogue space that has been tightly closed. He showed the world that the affection between BTS members is not acting, but rather a real family that will not let any of them feel alone. Not a few also said that Jungkook's statement changed their point of view. Mental health and the importance of expressing feelings. Many soldiers began to write letters to themselves or to their friends in solidarity with what Jungkook did for Jimin. In the midst of that very emotional atmosphere, Big Hit Music has finally released an official statement. Stated that Jimin did experience emotional distress during his adaptation period in the military, but it is currently under very intensive supervision and attention from a team of military medics and psychologists. They appreciate the love and support of the ARMY and ask all parties to continue to spread positive spirit. Jimin himself has not yet given a public response, according to the agencies. She found out about Jungkook's broadcast and was very touched by the response from the fans. In his latest letter to the agency that has not yet been made public, she wrote that the love of the ARMY was the reason she wanted to quickly recover and return to performing on stage. Now, millions of eyes are on the one person who has turned grief into love. And fear becomes hope. Jungkook. In his silence, he spoke louder than anyone. In her tears, she conveyed a message stronger than 1,000 words. And in her love for Jimin, she showed the world how we should love, unconditionally, without fear, and without stopping. This story will live on in the hearts of the ARMY, be a reminder that they are not just fans, but part of a big family that strengthens each other. And when Jimin finally returns, there will be a long hug from Jungkook, cheers from the fans, and a world that shines again because of someone who means so much has come home. As time went on, the response from all over the world continued to roll on nonstop. ARMY from South Korea to the United States, from Japan to Italy, united in one voice. Infinite love and support for Jimin. Many write poetry, upload paintings, make tribute videos, and light a virtual candle across digital platforms. This moment became more than just an expression of love for an idol. It is a form of human solidarity that is pure, sincere, and not limited by language or region. Jungkook and Jimin's story touches many hearts because it reflects the dynamics of a relationship that is so honest. Many people began to realize that their friendship is not just a fan service, but rather the result of an emotional bond built through years of hard work, laughter, tears, and mutual struggle. In each concert, behind the camera, they share hugs, pat each other on the back, strengthen each other when one of them almost collapsed. And now, as Jimin struggled in silence, Jungkook chose to stand up and voice the feelings that had been held back. Jungkook's statement touched the hearts of several senior artists and close BTS friends. One of the most touching was an open letter from Taeyong, sent personally to Jimin, through the agency and then recited in a special radio broadcast dedicated to BTS by the military radio station. In the letter, Taeyong writes, "Hyung, I know you're strong, but do not be afraid to be fragile."